Hello.
Hi, it's us again, your favorite game devs who have yet to release a game. So if you've been following the channel, you know we've been working on Rite of Ruin for nearing a year now, and around December last year, we decided to give ourselves a Christmas gift and try something a little bit different.
That's right.
So we made a real-time roguelike deck builder game, which sounds like we just got a bunch of different tags from the Steam suggested and just kind of crammed those together. But it's not.
It actually is a real-time roguelite deck builder.
But what is a real-time roguelike deck builder anyway? That's a lot of words. Let's break it down. What is a deck builder? Deck builder is one of the most classic form of video games, preceding even the video games. So your paper games, tabletop games, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, medieval people trading tarot cards, I don't know. Deck builders are basically any genre of game where you have cards of different types that have different abilities. You get to pre-construct your deck beforehand, and you get to play those cards in a strategic way. So a common element of deck builder games is that they're not real-time, meaning you can take as long as you want to make your decisions, and they're extremely strategic in nature.
The modern time deck builders, now you got stuff like Spire, which I guess kind of kicked it off. You slowly get cards as you get through the game, and your deck gets more advanced and more complex as time goes on.
A roguelike is a game where death means death, so once you die, you do lose all your progress. But there is certain progress or progression that is saved across runs. So abilities you've gotten, weapons or cards you've unlocked, you might be able to unlock them and use them in a future run, even though you have to start from the beginning. So there is that sense of growth, and at the time this video is coming out, there have been like 1,000,001 roguelike deck builder games that have come out. Now, we're about to introduce the next step, the next natural evolution to this formula.
That's right. This is the next evolution. It's real time. No time for thinking.
Nope.
None of that noise.
Nope. Just play your
you got
cards.
your Slate of Spire, you sit there, you spend like 10 minutes figuring out what to do so you don't get instantly gibbed in your turn. No more. None of that.
You gotta decide right now. You gotta pull your card out, you gotta play the card, or you die. It's that simple.
That simple.
But okay, to make it a little less simple, where we're coming from is that we're actually combining two very popular kinds of roguelike games. There's the roguelike deck builder, games like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, and the like, and we're combining that with the roguelike, games like Hades, for example. Name another game like Hades. Binding of Isaac. These are games where you usually move around with a WASD control or a controller, and it's about dexterity, moving fast to avoid projectiles, hit enemies,
hitting stuff,
explore a dungeon, that kind of thing. So,
and getting upgrades.
And getting
That's
upgrades.
what people want.
People want upgrades.
Strong.
So what we've done is we've mashed those two together, we stapled them together as all good game design goes, and we made a game where you have to act and move in real time using a controller or WASD keyboard while playing cards which you've unlocked.
No time to think, you just play that stuff, alright?
Right, and although the game is about instinct and not thinking, as we've said, there was quite a lot of thought in deciding or figuring out how to mesh these two very different genres together.
We didn't want to make it too complex, wherein, you know, we didn't want to have too many cards that gave you that Monster Train or Slay the Spire feel where you really need to figure out your turn and everything, because that's too much. That it might have been too much for the player. Might be too much on the old noodle. You know, if you're trying to figure all that stuff out, like all this card draw and then you combo it into like a massive hit. But we still have cards like that for sure. And they're still a big part of the deck builders. But we also try to keep the mechanics super simple in terms of movement. Like, you can literally just move around. And all of the actions you can take, aside from moving around and aiming, come from the cards.
One of the tensions in designing this kind of game is trying to capture that synergy, combo-tastic element of deck builders, being able to build a synergistic deck with a certain mechanic, versus making it very easy to understand and parse while you're moving around and dodging bullets.
Right, and we wanted to strike a balance between that. So sometimes there are some cards that are pretty complex, but we feel that, you know, after like maybe a few rounds or a few rooms of using it, you actually instinctively know what it does, so you don't need to read it anymore.
Yeah, a lot of what's carrying the burden of this is the visual language. Simple things, the cards all have illustrations. Those illustrations are color-coded, so generally the cards that deal damage are red or have red accents, the ones that protect you are blue, and the ones that do other zany effects are color green, right? Aside from that, we also made a lot of the card buffs readable through visual effects. So, for example, we have this one mechanic, Rage, which increases the power of the next card you play. And we made it so all eligible cards and all cards affected by that buff will actually display this kind of angry symbol
It's mad,
proportionate,
dude.
mad card symbol, proportionate to the number of stacks of rage you have. So just by looking, even though you don't know the exact number, at least without reading the card, you kind of can tell this is gonna pack a hit.
This is a big hitter. It's a meaty hit. It's a fat hit. Obviously, this game it can be quite difficult and quite taxing on the eyes and the mind. And we kind of like that sense of like, I don't know, panic.
You pull a card up into your hand, and in a split second, you've got to make a decision. Do I play it? Do I hold it? Do I just run like hell and let my mana regenerate so I can play this thing that costs a bit more mana, but we'll get rid of this guy that's on my back? We want this game to be about those split-second decisions instead of those kind of longer con decisions that you see in the usual deck builder.
Exactly. And of course, players are still rewarded for like building good decks. You can still remove cards. And actually, we're quite proud of this. It's like the way you can actually choose cards. Every time you complete a room, you have an opportunity to add a new card to your deck, as these deck builders go. But the way we did it is you actually can choose from packs, as you can see here. Little booster packs, right?
Booster packs.
And each one contains a set of cards. You'll have to actually play to figure out which cards exist in which of these packs, but you can kind of tell what they are based on the names. We wanted to make a game where you're rewarded for having played it much longer, and as you play, your knowledge of the game increases. If you look at like which booster packs, you'll actually start to get a feel of like which booster packs have the cards you need for the certain build you're trying to go. And speaking of which, of course, it's still a roguelite. So we have these upgrades that you can get. We won't spoil them all, but here are a few.
These are, I guess, what you call builder rounds, right? You might pick one up in the run, and say you get one that says, whenever you take shield damage, you actually shoot out a ring of projectiles. That might make you prioritize getting shield cards more. So we do like to have these little signposts that say, hey, would you like to try this kind of build for the run? To encourage the players to try something else. At a micro level, this is also happening with the cards. Say you get a very, very strong card early on, and it works around a certain mechanic. For example, the graveyard. Number of cards in the graveyard. You might prioritize cards in your future drafts where, say, you'd like to discard cards, you'd like to discard your whole hand and draw a new set, that kind of thing. The vision we have for this, it's sort of like Binding of Isaac or Hades, where you have different biomes or different stages that you have to get to. Right now, you can probably see from the visuals, generally the same. We're building out the first floor or first area. A lot of our work over the past few months has really been nailing down the core mechanics, the feel, the art style, and it's gotten to a place where it's quite janky, but we're also quite happy. We are looking to finish out the first floor, I guess, so we'll put the boss in it, polish up the gameplay a bit, fix the difficulty scaling, but hopefully when we get that done, we can put out a demo version, maybe get some beta testers, closed beta, maybe. Keep listening, keep posted. I realize we've gone through the whole thing without saying the name of the game. So this is Limbus, a real-time roguelike deck builder. And please keep posted for our updates.
And I guess that's it.
That's it. Anyway, keep your brains running, play your cards without thinking, and until next time, see you around.
Yeah, I'll see ya.